Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. So we're now onto the fourth of 5 Commander decks from Commander 2021, aka Commander Strixhaven School of Mages. And this is the Lorehold Legacies deck. So it's a red-white deck with Osgear the Reconstructor as the lead commander. Again, there's two commanders here, the lead one and then an alternate. So deck box, 100 card deck with 17 new cards, 10 double-sided tokens, a life wheel, a strategy insert and a reference card. I think, as I've mentioned before, what we should see in here is various other legendaries, some of which will be also red-white, apart from the two main, the commander and the alternate, but they won't necessarily be totally on theme. Then we've got these punch outs. And this here is just simply a foil that's been printed onto the packaging. Okay, let's have a look here. There's our counter. So as with the other ones, 40 down to 21 and then 20 down to 1. Our Learn to Play Commander insert with basic setup of Commander on one side and then a more deck specific description on the other. So gives the main commander and then various protagonists that might be relevant to the deck. There's also a slight difference in this group of decks, which you'll see towards the end of this video, or if you've watched some of the other videos. For this particular product, they've made a slight change to what's available in this deck. I must admit, this looks particularly foily. So, starting with Osgear the Reconstructor. So 2 red-white legendary creature giant artificer. It's 4/4 with vigilance. 1, sacrifice an artifact. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. X, tap, exile an artifact card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create 2 tokens that are copies of the exiled card. Activate only as a sorcery. It's interesting how much trouble I'm actually having reading is because of that quite prominent watermark, where the foiling really makes that pop. And actually can, in certain light, make the rules text difficult to read. Okay, here's our secondary commander, which we can use as an alternate if we want. So 3 red-white. Alibu, Ancient Witness, legendary artifact creature golem. It's a 4/5. Other artifact creatures you control have haste. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control attack, Alibu, Ancient Witness deals X damage to any target and you scry X, where X is the number of tapped artifacts you control. Now, something again I'll point out with the cards in this deck, you'll notice bottom left hand corner we have these two here. So one is 8 out of 81 and the other is 7 out of 81. Any of the cards marked up like that out of 81, they're all the new cards for this deck. You'll also notice that in the case of this next card, some of the cards have the Strixhaven logo, so these are going to be cards specifically from Strixhaven. And then other cards will have the Commander logo for this particular set on them, as do these ones. So the logo here, but they'll have a slight difference in that the number won't be out of 81, and those will be the reprints. So starting off with the Strixhaven cards, we've got Secret Rendezvous, 1 and 2 white sorcery. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. Reconstruct History, 2 red-white sorcery. Return up to 1 target artifact card. Return up to 1 target artifact card, up to 1 target enchantment card, up to 1 target instant card, up to 1 target sorcery card, and up to 1 target planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Reconstruct History. So you can see for the Strixhaven ones, they've got the set counts down the bottom. Rip Apart, red-white sorcery, choose 1. Rip Apart deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Lorehold Campus, this is one of the cycle of lands at common that is in the Strixhaven set. So enters the battlefield tapped, tap for red or white, but for a cost of 4 you can tap it and scry 1. All the decks so far have had Study Hall in them, so they all appear to have so far had the relevant on-colour common non-basic from Strixhaven, but they've also had this Study Hall, which is actually one of the 81 new cards, and all the decks so far have that. Tap, add colourless. 1 tap, add 1 mana of any colour. When you spend this mana to cast your commander, scry X, where X is the number of times it's been cast from the command zone in this game. Darksteel Mutant, so this is a reprint. 1 and a white enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature is an insect artifact creature with base power and toughness 0/1 and has indestructible, and it loses all other abilities, card types and creature types. Dispatch, 1 to cast, instant, tap target creature. It has Metalcraft. If you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature. So it's going to be interesting to see, particularly with the reprints and possibly the new cards, what artifact specific mechanics we have from Magic's history. Dispeller's Capsule is in here. Single white artifact, 2 and a white tap, sacrifice Dispeller's Capsule, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Return to dust. 2 white instant, exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Sanctum Gargoyle, 3 and a white artifact creature gargoyle. It's got flying, it's a 2/3. When Sanctum Gargoyle enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Faithless Looting is in the deck. Single red sorcery, draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. It's got a flashback of 2 and a red, so you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Quicksmith Genius, 2 and a red creature, human artificer. It's a 3/2. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Thopter Engineer, 2 and a red creature, human artificer. It's 1/3. When Thopter Engineer enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colourless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Artifact creatures you control have haste. Boris Charm is in the deck. Red-white instant. It's modal, so you get to choose 1. Boris Charm deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Opponents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn, so you get to choose 1 of those. Arcane Signet is in all the decks. 2 to cast artifact, tapped, add 1 mana of colour of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Boris Locket, 3 to cast, tap, add red or white. 4 red-white hybrid, tap, sacrifice Boris Locket, draw 2 cards. Burnished Heart is in the deck. 3 to cast artifact creature elk, so 2/2, 3, sacrifice Burnished Heart. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Commander's Sphere, 3 to cast artifact, tap, add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity, sacrifice Commander's Sphere, draw a card. Hedron Archive, 4 to cast artifact, tap, add 2 colourless, 2 tap, sacrifice Hedron Artifact, draw 2 cards. Ichor Wellspring, so we've got lots of classic artifacts in here. 2 to cast, when Ichor Wellspring enters the battlefield or is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Meteor Golem, 7 to cast, artifact creature Golem, 3/3, when Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Mindstone is in the deck. 2 to cast artifact, tap, add colourless, 1 tap, sacrifice Mindstone, draw a card. Mycosynth Wellspring, 2 to cast artifact. When Mycosynth Wellspring enters the battlefield or is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Pilgrim's Eye is in the deck. These keep coming. 3, 1/1. Artifact creature Thopter, flying. When Pilgrim's Eye enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Soul Ring, surprise, surprise. 1 to cast, tap, add 2 colourless. Unstable Obelisk is in here. 3 to cast, tap, add colourless, 7 tap, sacrifice Unstable Obelisk, destroy target permanent. The classic artifacts keep coming. Got Ancient Den, okay, artifact land from way back. Tap, add 1, so I suspect, yep, okay, so yep, I was expecting to see the other red artifact, maybe we'll see that in a moment. So that these would have been from, or this one obviously from original Mirrodin. We've also got the, in this case, red-white card from original Ravnica. I had to think there for a moment, which is in all of, the relevant on-colour one is in all the decks. So enter the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, you have to bounce a land back to your hand. But once it comes online, get to tap for red and white. Angel of the Ruins, 5 white creature, artifact creature angel. It's a 5/7. Notice it's one of the 81 new cards. When Angel of the Ruins enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments, and it's got plane cycling for a cost of 2. So you discard this card, search your library for a planes card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Archimancer's Map, 2 and a white artifact. When Archimancer's Map enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 basic planes cards, reveal them, then put them into your hand, then shuffle. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player controls more lands than you, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Bronze Guardian, 4 and a white artifact creature Golem, star 5, so it's double strike and ward 2. Whenever this creature becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless the player pays 2. Other artifacts you control have ward 2. Bronze Guardian's PAT is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Dig Site Engineer, 2 and a white, 3/3 creature dwarf artificer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 0/0 colourless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Excavation Technique. 3 and a white sorcery with Demonstrate. So when you cast this spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Players may choose new targets for their copies. Destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. Okay, so we have a white legendary creature here, which is an Elephant Artificer. So a new card as well. Lorehold Clockwork Scholar. 2 and a white legendary creature, Elephant Artificer. It's a 2/4. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to attacking artifact creatures you control. Whenever one or more artifact creatures enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. Monologue Tax. 2 and a white enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you create a treasure token. Audacious Reshapers. 2 and a red 3/3 creature human artificer. So you sacrifice an artifact, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Audacious Reshapers deals damage to you equal to the number of cards revealed this way. Okay. Battle Mage Bracers. 2 and a red artifact equipment. Equipped creature has haste. Whenever an ability of an equipped creature is activated, if it isn't a mana ability, you may pay 1. If you do, copy that target. You may choose new targets for the copy. It's equipped to Cursed Mirror. 2 and a red artifact, tap for red. As Cursed Mirror enters the battlefield, you may have it become a copy of any creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. Laelia, the Blade Reforged. 2 and a red legendary creature, Spirit Warrior with haste. It's a 2/2. Whenever Laelia, the Blade Reforged attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your library and or your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Laelia. Ruin Grinder. 5 and a red 7/4 artifact creature construct with menace. When Ruin Grinder dies, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. It's got Mountain Cycling 2. 2, discard this card, search your library for a mountain card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Wake the Past. It's 5 red white sorcery. Return all artifact cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. They gain haste until end of turn. Triplicate Titan. 9 to cast. So 9/9. Artifact creature Golem. Has flying, vigilance, and trample. When Triplicate Titan dies, create a 3/3 colourless Golem artifact creature token with flying, and a 3/3 colourless Golem artifact token with vigilance, and a 3/3 colourless Golem artifact creature token with trample. Cleansing Nova. Always interesting to see a mass removal spell. 3 and 2 white. So this is modal as well. So we get to choose one. Destroy all creatures. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. And you'll notice we're now back to the reprints. Rout is in the set. 3 2 white sorcery. You may cast Rout as though it had flash if you pay 2 more to cast it. Destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. Sun Titan. 4 and 2 white 6/6 creature giant with vigilance. Whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Chain Reaction. 2 and 2 red sorcery. Chain Reaction deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of creatures on the battlefield. Combustible Gearhulk. 4 and 2 red 6/6 artifact creature construct with first strike. When Combustible Gearhulk enters the battlefield, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't, you mill 3 cards. Then Combustible Gearhulk deals damage to that player equal to the total mana value of those cards. Yes, Doretti Scrap Savant. 3 and a red Legendary Planeswalker Doretti. So all of the decks so far have had a Planeswalker in them. So it's 3 loyalty, +2, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Okay. -2, sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And its -10 ultimate is you get an emblem with whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Feldon of the Third Path is in here. So 1, 2 red, legendary creature, human artificer. 2 and a red, tap. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature card in your graveyard. Except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Hellkite Igniter. 4 and 2 red, flying haste. 1 and a red. Hellkite Igniter deals +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. It's a 5/5. Hellkite Tyrant. 4, 2 red, creature dragon. It's a 6/5 with flying trample. When Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. So we've got an alternate win condition. Horde Smelter Dragon. So it looks like we've got a cluster of dragons here. 4 and 2 red, 5/5 flying, 3 and a red, destroy target artifact. Horde Smelter Dragon gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is that artifact's mana cost. Pioneer. So a red legendary creature. 2 and a red, 2/2 legendary creature, human artificer. When Pioneer enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 color stop to artifact creature token with flying. 1 and a red, target artifact creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Sacrifice an artifact. Target creature can't block this turn. Jor Kadeen the Prevailer. So it is on color for the deck, but like I said, you get these in the deck. It's not intended as an alternate commander for this deck. So obviously what you would do is, to make this effective and optimal, you would obviously go through the deck if you wanted to use this as a commander and substitute out cards that aren't as synergistic with this card with other ones that are. 3 red white legendary creature, human warrior. It's got first strike and metalcraft. Creatures you control get +3/+0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Bosch is in here. Bosch Iron Golem, 8 to cast. It's a 6/7 legendary artifact creature golem. Has trample. 3 and a red. Sacrifice an artifact. Bosch Iron Golem deals damage equal to the sacrificed artifact and mana value to any target. Duplicates in here. 6 to cast, artifact creature Shapeshifter. It's a 2/4 with imprint. When duplicate enters the battlefield, you may exile a target non-land creature as long as a card exiled with duplicate is a creature card. Duplicate has the power and toughness and creature types of the last creature card exiled with duplicate. It's still a shapeshifter. Key to the City, 2 to cast artifact. Tap, discard a card. Up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever Key to the City becomes untapped, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Mere Battlesphere's in here. I wonder if this was going to turn up. 7 to cast, 4/7 artifact creature, Mere Construct. When Mere Battlesphere enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 colours Mere artifact creature tokens. When Mere Battlesphere attacks, you may tap X, untap Mere you control. If you do, Mere Battlefield gets +X/+0 until end of turn and deals X damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. I wonder if we're going to have the on-colour Meres. We'll see. Scrap Trawler, 3 to cast. It's a 3/2 artifact creature construct. Whenever Scrap Trawler or another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return to your hand a target artifact creature in your graveyard with lesser mana value. Sculpting Steel, 3 to cast artifact. You may have Sculpting Steel enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. See, what I'm expecting to see, I think it's too late now, is maybe Steel Hellkite, but you know. Solemn Simulcrum is in the deck. For the cast, artifact creature Golem for 2/2. When the Solemn Simulcrum deals start again, sorry. When Solemn Simulcrum enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. When oh crikey, Simulcrum dies, you may draw a card. Oh, I'm in trouble with that word today. Oh look, surprise, surprise. Is that new artwork as well? Cool. Steel Hellkite, 6 to cast, 5/5, artifact creature dragon. This has made me very happy. Flying 2, Steel Hellkite gets +1/+0 until end of turn. X, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X whose controller was dealt combat damage by a Steel Hellkite this turn. Activate only once each turn. It's a 5/5. Steel Overseer. 2, artifact creature construct 1/1. Tap, put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. Oh, 1000-year elixir. Because they keep coming, don't they? 3 to cast artifact. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. 1 tap, untap target creature. Battlefield Forge. Tap, add colourless. Tap, add red or white. Battlefield Forge deals 1 damage to you. I think all of these reprints are, was it Painlands? Are in the deck, one of each on colour in all the decks. Exotical, yeah, we're starting to see more cards now that are in all the decks. Exotic Orchard as a land, tap, add 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. Slayer's Stronghold, so this one isn't in the other decks, but I think there's a several, you know, a similar sort of cycle in the other decks, or similarish cards which have, what would you call them, like ability lands, I suppose, for want of a better word. So you've got tap, add colourless, and then in this case red, white, tap, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains vigilance and haste until end of turn, or utility lands, I think I sometimes refer to these as. Oh yeah, we've got another scry land here. Enters battlefield tapped. When Temple of Triumph enters the battlefield, scry 1, tap, add red or white. So that's one of the original scry lands, I believe. Command Tower's in here, so add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity when you tap that. We've got Darksteel Citadel. No surprise to have this in an artifacts deck. It's got Indestructible, tap, add colourless. Forgotten Caves in here, so we've got a cycling land. Enters the battlefield, tap, add red, cycling red. So red, discard this card, draw a card. Great Furnace, yeah, this is what I was expecting as well. So we've got the other artifact land for original Mirrodin. Just taps for red, but it is an artifact land. Myriad Landscape with the newer artwork. Enter battlefield tapped, tap, add colourless, 2 tap, sacrifice Myriad Landscape, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type, put them onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. I think we've seen this in all the decks so far. Phyrexia's Core, tap, add colourless, 1 tap, sacrifice an artifact, you gain 1 life. Oh, Rogue's Passage. I should have called it. Land, tap, add colourless, 4 tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Are these in every single deck? Anyway. Okay, there's the white cycling land, Secluded Step. Okay, yeah, another one. So we got another red-white utility land. Sunhome Fortress of the Legion, tap, add colourless, 2 red-white, tap, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Temple of the False God, this is in all the decks, I believe. Tap, add 2 colourless, activate only if you control 5 or more lands. And now we move on to the basic lands with the Strixhaven artwork, which you've seen when I did the unboxing of the bundle. And we'll move on to our planes. Well, certainly a very interesting deck. Lots to make me smile there. Lots of sort of classic artifact cards. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So I mentioned this with the other decks. You get this sort of alternate card for the main commander. It's slightly thicker. Looks like it's on some sort of plastic. I think they're calling this an etched foil. The foiling's definitely very different than the regular card. So obviously, because it's thickness, you wouldn't want to be shuffling into this into the deck, because technically it's like a marked card. But it is good, as a commander out in play. But yeah, it's an odd combination, because as I've commented before, the etching gives it a really, I don't know how they've managed to do it, but it's sort of got a most both sparkly and a matte finish to it, which just makes it look quite strange. Oh, here's all our tokens, of course. I wonder if we've got treasure and a mirror. Treasure and a mirror. Treasure and a mirror. Treasure and a mirror. These copy tokens keep cropping up because we're seeing several decks that are generating copies of things. So copy and construct. Copy and construct. Copy and construct. Golem. Thopter, different artwork. Golem. Is that because it's a 3/3? Okay. Thopter, another piece of Golem artwork, and a Thopter, but no emblem. I think that's the same with all the decks. They're not including like an emblem there specifically. Okay, so a very interesting deck. I think if you went through this, it's one of these decks where it's quite interesting to go through really systematically, because my suspicions are there's lots of little interesting interactions going on in here. So yeah, that's the Osgear the Reconstructor deck, also called, what's that, Lorehold Legacies. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I have. I've got a big smile on my face at the moment from all the classic artifact cards I've seen. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.